Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome to my first impressions video for Vietnam. This is one of the new DLC civilizations coming in the new Frontier Pass for January. I suppose it may actually already be out today. I honestly don't know. I am late on this video. I admit that. I apologize. If you saw my last video of just the overall DLC, you'll see some of the description of why. I won't go all into that again. But so I do apologize for it being late, but it is here. I'm here giving the first impressions and reaction. I haven't seen anything about this other than I know it is Vietnam. So I've kept myself in a social media blackout to preserve myself and just have a good positive. I mean, honestly, first impression, sorry, and reaction video here. So let's jump right in, get right into it, and see what Vietnam has to offer.
Ba Thu leads Vietnam in Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Ba Thu, also known as Lady True, is best remembered for her fiery personality and abject tenaciousness. She is once said to have proclaimed, "I'd like to ride storms, slay big whales in the open sea, drive out foreign aggressors, reconquer the country, undo the ties of serfdom, and never bend my back to be the concubine of whatever man." Vietnam's unique ability is Nine Dragon River Delta. All land specialty districts can only be built on rainforest, marsh, or woods tiles. Buildings on each type of tile receive either additional science, production, or culture. This ability also allows woods to be planted with the medieval Ferris Civic. Vietnam's unique unit.
Wait, I'm confused. Did they say you can only build districts on forest, marsh, or rainforest tiles? Did I misunderstand that, or did they say that, or okay? I'm not going to back it up because we'll see it obviously in the description here in a minute. I think that's what they said, and I mean that's pretty heavily restrictive in a lot of ways. I mean you're going to have to hope. I'm assuming they will have it that you have a strong bias towards those types of terrains, I should say. I would also imagine. I think they saw it at the end there that if you build your own forest, build your own whatever, I guess it's forest, whatever, that maybe you could build on that too. I don't know. We'll find out more here in a minute once I can actually read the description, because maybe I didn't understand everything she said. But yeah, fairly restrictive. I mean, there's usually a lot of forests and jungles and stuff, or rainforests or whatever, but still fairly restrictive. So, and then we got, obviously we're going to get some sort of elephant here. It looks like it's an elephant archer of some sort, potentially, which, sure, why not?
Unit is the medieval era ranged unit, the Voi Chien. Inspired by guerrilla tactics, this unit has additional movement and can even move after attacking. It is more expensive than the crossbowman unit it replaces, but is stronger when defending and has greater sight. Vietnam's
Stronger when defending, makes sense. I mean, you're on a big giant elephant versus some dude standing out there with a crossbow. Makes sense that it would have a bit more defensiveness. I do like the fact that it can move after attacking. That's pretty strong. That's pretty useful, especially early on. So no, I mean, it's a good unit. More expensive. I mean, by the time you get crossbowmen, sometimes you are starting to transition to, you know, crossbowman support, but really siege units and melee really is your strength of your probably a lot of your military. Crossbowmen are there. I usually personally just use a lot of crossbowmen in my defensiveness for cities and stuff like that. So I don't usually, because I have the siege units. You know, I have well, obviously you start with catapults, but usually by somewhere around here you get bombards somewhere around that time period. I think they're about a tech level later than crossbowmen or something like that. But it's not too far off. So a lot of times I will tend to go with the siege units and then the melee support or the cavalry support, something like that. But hey, a fast unit moving crossbowman that's very strong defensively, so I don't have to protect it as much and can move after attacking. This may be a new feature for me, especially if I'm playing, obviously if I'm playing as Vietnam, to have a little bit more of that archer support versus the siege units. Although you still need the siege units to take down cities, but having that archer support to help you take out some of the units and things like that. Sure, why not?
unique district is called the Tine and offers additional culture for each adjacent district. Once flight is researched, this district generates tourism equal to its culture output. It does not require population and is cheaper to build than the encampment district it replaces.
Does not require population. Now that's pretty big, actually, because it means that a lot of times when you don't build encampments in a lot of civilizations, quite frankly, you just don't. You might build one or two if you just want one place to push out some, engineers or something like that. But a lot of times you just avoid the encampments because there's just a lot of other districts that are more valuable. I mean, culture if you're going to go for culture, industry if you're going for industry, science, faith, gold. I mean, any of those districts are usually more valuable than your encampment district. So you don't typically build a lot of encampments for most civilizations, unless they have a specific benefit or bonus to building encampments. This one, however, the fact that not only do you get culture and tourism by building this surrounded by other districts, although that will be kind of hard to do if you can only build other districts on forest and rainforest. We'll get back to that. But the fact that it does not require a population hit, like you don't have to be at, whatever, 4, 7, 10, whatever it is to be able to build this, that tells me, does that, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I feel like that's telling me that I can build it everywhere and still build the other districts as well. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but that's what it sounds like it's saying. And if that's the case, cool. I'll build these all over the place, and that's really awesome. But again, maybe I'm misunderstanding what it's saying, but we'll see more once we get to the description.
Batu's unique ability, drive out the aggressors.
Nope. I want to see the descriptions. I was going to let her finish her statement, but she started getting away from there. All right, so here's all the abilities, although the fact that they're zooming in a little bit here is a little annoying, but whatever. We'll deal with it. So we've got drive out the aggressors, +5 combat strengths for units fighting in rainforest, marsh, or wood tiles. There's that cohesion there with rainforest, marsh, and woods. You really want all of those tiles all around you everywhere you possibly can. So you're going to get +5 combat strength for units fighting in those, +1 movement if they begin their turn there, and both of these bonuses are doubled if the tile is your... Oh. Okay, so you get +10 combat strength and +2 movement starting if they're within your territory. So she's going to be very good at defending her own territory, but still going to be very strong, also attacking out of her territory to other people. So that's pretty good. I like it. Movement obviously is very king for military-minded, domination-minded civilizations, or just if you want to push for domination, even if you're not domination-minded civilization normally, the fact that you have movement is huge. It's a really big deal. Being able to outmaneuver your other players and stuff like that, and get your units in position, things of that nature. So that's a big deal. Then we've got 9 Dragon River Delta. All land specialty districts can only build. Okay, it's exactly what they said. All land specialty districts can only be built on rainforest, marsh, or woods. Receive the following yields for every building on these. Every building. Receive the following yields for every building on these features. So you can build a district, but then you get, as you build buildings within those districts, I guess you get these other abilities. You get culture from woods, science from rainforest, and production from marsh. Interesting. Woods can be planted with the medieval fair civic. Okay, so that's what they said, and I saw that. So I'm assuming that's earlier. I'm not looking at the texture right this second, but I'm assuming that's earlier than normal. It sounds a lot earlier. I don't think you can normally build woods in the medieval era. But presumably, why would they add that? Why would they add woods can be planted earlier if you can't use those woods that you planted to build on as well? So I'm assuming you can build on your own planted woods with the specialty districts. So that's going to be interesting. And does it consume the woods, marsh, and rainforest? Or is it just nestled within it? That's interesting. I actually didn't notice that in the graphic. We got the elephant archers, the Voichian. Nothing special there that we hadn't already seen. And then the new district, unique to Vietnam, which replaces the encampment, +2 culture for each adjacent district, which could add up if you're lucky to what, +12 culture. After flight was researched, you receive tourism equal to the culture output. So again, +12 tourism if you're lucky. This district does not require population. So again, the way I'm reading that says I can build this in all my cities without interrupting or disrupting my flow of normal districts that I want to build based on population. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's how that's reading. It's cheaper to build, that's normal. Cannot be built just at the city center, that's normal. And is not a specialty district. Ah, interesting. What does that mean? I guess there's bonuses that you normally get for things that are specialty districts, but this one's not counting as a specialty district. Do encampments normally count as a specialty district? I actually don't know. I don't remember, but I assume if it's in there, then they may normally do, and this one just doesn't. Who knows? Yeah, so I don't know. I'm actually kind of liking this a lot. I mean, it's, again, that unique challenge of tile Tetris, if you will. I kind of like the tile Tetris a lot, where you're like, I'm restricted by these guidelines, and I have to build my cities in such a way to min-max, the tiles that are around me and the available space for my districts, and the fact that I want to surround my encampments with other districts to get the culture and things, whatever. Even if I'm not going for a tourism game, just getting free culture is always good for no matter what victory type you're going for. I kind of like it. All right, let's keep going.
Aggressors provides additional combat strength for units fighting in Rainforest, Marsh, or Woods tiles. This bonus is further increased for tiles owned by Vietnam. Beginning a turn in Rainforest, Marsh, or Woods also provides additional movement, which is also further increased for tiles owned by Vietnam. Vietnam can be flexible in its path to victory, focusing on either science or culture depending on the placement of districts. Either way, construct buildings as quickly as possible to leverage their extra yields. Avoid desert, but don't be afraid to settle in open plains or grassland, as Vietnam can plant woods early. However, rainforests can't be planted, so think carefully before chopping them. Woods, rainforest, and marsh tiles owned by Vietnam offer the Civ significant tactical benefits, turning Vietnam into a defensive powerhouse. Of course, if you choose your battles strategically, these tiles also allow Vietnam to render some crippling offensive attacks. For these reasons, watch out for forest fires and volcanoes, which can be especially devastating for this civilization. Will you ride storms, slay big whales, and reconquer the country? How will you lead Vietnam in Sid Meier's Civilization 6?
All right, so there's a bit more to unpack here. I did think about the forest fire stuff. Yes, forest fires, space sort of bad for Vietnam, but don't forest fires also give your forests more production? Although, if you're just covering up your forest with districts, then I guess you don't need the extra production from the forest. So I guess it kind of defeats itself in a way. But I was looking at, okay, where's the districts? Let me look at the districts here. Yeah, so we can see some districts. She's got a commercial hub and things like that here. I mean, there's trees through here. I think that's just part of the normal graphics. I don't think these are still woods tiles. I don't know. We'll have to find out once we get into the game. But I think plopping this down, you can only plop it down on a woods tile or a rainforest or a marsh. But I think once you plopped it down, I think it probably would get rid of the underlying. I mean, is that even relevant? The fact that it could still be a wood or a marsh? Maybe not. Maybe it's completely irrelevant whether it keeps it or not. Because I can't think of any benefits off the top of my head of whether it kept a wood or not. But yeah, I don't know. This is interesting. I mean, like she said, you can only build woods. You cannot build rainforest. You cannot build marsh. So the woods, what was the woods one? The woods gave you benefits from, where is it? The woods gives you culture. So she's going to be getting a lot of culture. She's going to be able to force culture by building more woods if she wants to. But if she somehow either gets burnt down or decides to chop them, which I can't imagine she would, the rainforest or the marsh, she might be a little bit lacking on the science and production depending on where her cities are, because again, you can't force marshes, you can't force rainforest, whereas you can force the woods and therefore get the culture from that. And of course, she gets the culture and tourism from her encampment. So I'm feeling like she leans a little bit on the culture / tourism side. Although, to be fair, other than this, there's not a lot there for tourism. She probably would play very well. The new district, right? The new district that's coming out with this, where undeveloped forest and other tiles can get some bonuses from that new district. I actually don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But that new nature district. But she's going to be able to benefit from it, sort of. But it also would limit where she can put districts, because if you put that district down somewhere, although I guess that district would be limited by the same restrictions, right? Although it does say specialty districts. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's why her encampment is not a specialty district. And I know there's a couple others that aren't classified as specialty districts, because then her encampment can go anywhere and is not restricted by the same thing. I hadn't caught that at first. Interesting. But anyway, where I was trying to go with that is, if you put that new nature district down where you're trying to preserve the stuff, but then you decide to plop down districts on top of those, well, that's counterintuitive. Those go against each other, right? So she's going to want to preserve some of those if she wants to build that district. But if she has a lot of them, she has enough of them, well, that's fine. You're not going to build 20 districts around every city, obviously. I mean, that's ridiculous. You're going to build, 3 or 4, and you're still going to have a lot of tiles available to either preserve or develop, or, as normal. So I think she could work well with that because she's going to have a bias towards rainforest, woods, woods and marshes, most likely. So that could help her out a lot. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I kind of like her. I think it'll be a lot of fun to play and a little different. Like I said, I like tile Tetris sometimes. It can be kind of a fun aspect of the game to figure out where to place things, to min-max things as much as possible. So that part could be a lot of fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, apologies for this video being a little bit late, but hopefully you guys forgive me for that and still appreciate it anyway. But yeah, let me know what you think. Please like or subscribe or comment if you'd like to see more of these videos, because that really helps me out a lot to let me know that you guys do enjoy this. But I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.